Hello everyone, and welcome to a different type of video than normal. So if you clicked on the video, you're probably a DM wanting to make an Underdark game, wanting to just make a big bad Eldritch boy, or you're just bored and want to watch a video. So I'll spare the lengthy dubstep intro stuff and hop right into it. So I'm going to show you how to make an Elder Evil. As a reference, the Elder Evil I personally will be making is a massive spider. Whether it's owned by Lolth or stole power from her or whatever, this massive spider is affecting the Mana Weave. A quick little background, the Mana Weave is like strands of magic energy running throughout the planes. If you're an arcane user, use the multiverse to power spells. If you're an elf, you manipulate it, while non-elf races use it up. While I'm not sure if it breaks temporarily, or if you just use it like coal in a fuel, the magic god Mystra immediately repairs it, thankfully. Because if Mystra didn't, then there would be another Spell Plague level event. If you're unfamiliar with the Spell Plague, it's what caused the destruction of many, many planes. Entire realms snuffed out or chucked into the astral sea or the elemental chaos, which were created with the Spell Plague. Thankfully, there was another magic god to save us, but now on to the main thread. The Elder Evil. An Elder Evil can be anything, from an old, ancient, lich god thing to a sentient space potato that came back with mind flayers. Here I will be making a massive wolf-touched devastation spider that is manipulating the weave, like a web. What it's planning to catch, I don't know, it's up to you, but it's messing with all arcane magic. No divine, because that's derived from worshipping a god, not from the weave. So for our base stats, let's start with a base devastation spider. Let's call it Aragog. So our devastation spider is a healthy 1856 hit point, 128 hit dice colossal spider. This thing is CR 41 before its Wolf Touch template added onto it. No wonder the gods haven't tried fighting it. It has a speed of 60 feet, climb of 40 feet, and it gets plus 14 to initiative if your party wants to fight it. Its AC is a chonky 58, touch is 16, flat-footed 44. It gets a 96 bonus to bite and 125 to grapple. Its reach is higher than most low-level spells at 40 feet, and its poison has a fort save, or con save if you're playing 5e, of 84, and it deals 2d12 con damage for both its primary and secondary damage. Its bite attack gets 101 bonus to hit and deals 18d10 plus 19 plus the poison as said before. It has dark vision out to 300 feet, spell resistance 50, damage reduction 10 over everything. Its stats are as follows: strength 37, dex 39, con 30, no int, wisdom of 10, and charisma of 2. So if you can overcome its fort save of 76, reflex save of 56, or will save of 42, I'd say try and drain its charisma, because once it gets down to 0, it should immediately die. However, I don't think you're going to be able to get past its saves. Now in D&D 5e, I'd say strength and con as the fort save, wisdom and charisma saves for its will, and dex and int for the reflex. You can swap around the int to also go to its will, so it gets, instead of a will save, it has 42, and int saves, charisma saves, wisdom saves. But, remember, Elder Evils are meant to destroy worlds, so you don't really have to balance it much. It gets bonuses to skills, but mostly things like jump, hide, move silent, climb. So I think we should just move on, since it has a climb speed and a lot of other stuff. Plus, it's not like you can hide. Now, adding the Wolf Touch template gives it plus 6 strength and plus 6 con, giving it a plus 1 CR rating, so now it's a CR 42. So 4 people of level 42 can fight it. For 5e, it is a lot higher. This thing would kill gods in 5e. The alignment becomes chaotic evil, some bonuses to hide and move silently, and is immune to fear. With our fighter already so strong. This is just flavor at this point. So our new stats are HP 2240, Initiative plus 14, Speed 60, Climbing Speed 40. The AC is 58, Bite is bonus is 104, and it deals 18 d10s plus 21 with a DC or 84 con or fortitude save for the poison, 2d12 con damage twice for both the first effect and the second effect. Space is a 50-foot square. It's colossal. This thing is huge. Reach is 40 feet. DR 10 over everything. Spell resistance 50, so if you want to hit it with a spell, it has more spell resistance than a Trask. Its CR is 42, and its abilities are Strength 43, Dex 39, Con 36, Int 0, Wisdom 10, Charisma 2. The saves are Fort, Strength, Con 76, Will, Wisdom, Charisma 42, Reflex, Int, Dex 42. Now let's add some of this Elder Evil bonuses to it. So Elder Evils have signs. It's like I'm starting to show up and grow more powerful and prevalent. So just the radius around me is showing up. So the signs are like from spiders showing up more and more, spider moon making people scared, poisonous rains, to hot web-filled winds, the sun dying making the world darker, and divine magic failing. However, for this example, we're picking alien skies. The sign's visual effects are the stars become small spiderlings, crawling across the sky and making sea travel even more difficult. New spider and loth themes constellations appear across the blackness. As the faint sign, the DC of all concentration rolls for spellcasting increased by 5. So, signs have 4 categories: faint, moderate, strong, overwhelming. It's like how close the thing is. So if it's like in an egg, it'd be faint to none. It's hatching, it's a spiderling, medium. If it's an adult, it's moderate, and if it's like this super final form, it's overwhelming and about to end the world. So, as you level up in the campaign, normally the higher level people get the signs showing up to balance it out. So for this faint sign, maybe like level 3, I'll go over that later. But as a faint sign, DC of all concentration rolls for arcane spellcasting increases by 5. It may not be noticeable immediately, but certainly annoying, and it's going to be worse for the lowest level people. The moderate sign is where things get tense. Arcane casters are at -2 caster level. If it drops to 0 or lower, they can't cast spells until they're higher level. So, if you're 2nd level, you become 0, and all you have to your name is the worst base attack bonus and 8 hit health. The DC is still 5 higher because as the signs progress, it's not coming in, it's just adding something to it. So there will always be that -2 arcane caster level, concentration rolls for arcane spellcasting increased by 5. Still the moderate sign. No, having strong signs make arcane spells and spell-like abilities have a DC of 20 plus the level of the spell, or else you lose the spell slot without effect. So, if I explained that poorly, if I cast Fireball as a 5th level spell, then I have to succeed in a DC 25 save. And I also take up -5 for concentration. However, if I do succeed, I cast the spell successfully. If it fails, then I wasted a spell slot and my turn ends. Unless I can do something else. And if you have spell-like ability, then it just uses up one of your daily uses. And if you have infinite daily uses, then you just lose a turn. Now, the overwhelming sign is normally to add a second check. So if you succeed the first save, you can cast the fireball, except you add if you have another check, and if you failed that one, then you do wild magic. And roll off the wild magic. However, I think it would be more fitting to alter it as such. Summoning spells make spiders. Give the correct elemental template if they're summoning elementals, fiendish, and celestial. They're summoning those respectively. The spiders are also not under the player's control. Fireballs deal poison damage or some other type of effect. Other damaging spells also deal poison damage, and spider venom deals con damage. However, if they're consistently dealing like 8d6 con damage to enemies from poison fireball, try and give them poison-proof enemies that are now drenched in the poison from their attacks, and probably will make your party annoyed. Healing can poison and etc. Fit it to your campaign and to your players. So if one of them is just shooting magic missile every day, the con damage might not be that bad to start, but as soon as he starts getting 32 magic missiles, each dealing 1d4 maximized poison for 5 con each, it gets a little absurd. Now, we get into even more fun with malefic properties. The signs are caused by the spider they're not caused by the spider directly through ill will, but kind of like the ripple of its actions. Malefic properties are abilities it gains to use at will. Now, the immediate area of a malefic property can be temporarily dispelled with anti-magic field, with a save of 1d20 plus caster level to overcome the spell resistance of the Elder Evil. However, with the spell resistance of the Elder Evil being 50, it's probably not going to work that well. Dispel Magic and Greater Dispel Magic does not work. And the radius of influence follows this table. So if you have like a super weak, I want this campaign to be like 10 levels, 15 levels, final boss, 15 hit dice, it has a radius of 10 miles. If it's, I want this to fight, try and kill it at the end when you're super overpowered. If it's 16 to 30 hit dice, it's 100 miles. And if you want this to not be able to be killed by the players, 31 to 50 is 1,000 miles, and 51 hit dice is worldwide. Now, because the spider has like 128 hit dice, I would recommend making its sense multiplanar, with the limitation it can only see things attached or near the weave. So if you have an anti-magic zone, then the weave isn't there, so it can't sense them. If there's something going on in one plane using the weave, the spider can sense it like a web. Now, malefic properties are abilities. Elder Evil always get immunity to divine divination spells and effects with no save needed. So if a god wanted to scry on the Elder Evil, it couldn't with divine power. With arcane power, yes, but there's arcane problems going on right now. Plus, the spell resistance of our spider is absurd. They can choose from things like nightmares that deal wisdom damage, make everyone go into a rage, fight each other, deal negative energy to divine casters, not negative levels, just negative energy, and probably vile damage if you have that rule. Otherwise, they just have them deal, negative energy. It could be immune to divine magic, and, dead creatures can never be raised. However, while the best fitting would probably be nightmares from stars dealing wisdom, the spider poison deals strength, and worldwide wisdom drain could end the campaign a lot sooner than you'd hope. So I'd go with something like poison rain, or whenever something dies it bursts into small spiders. If not burned properly, it makes for good world building. Your players walk into this elven city and they see funeral pyres, massive bonfires lit for the poor people who can't afford fancy cremation, undead turning into ticking time bombs, much to the annoyance of necromancers and liches and such. If you want to have a truly evil Elder Evil, let's make a small campaign path for you and maybe just add some lore. So, Lolth is a massive dick to be around. Not fun at all, since she has almost a fetish harming her followers, other drow, and pretty much everything else. At 6th level, a drow have to have Lolth. They have to go through the Rite of Lolth, or whatever it's called. But Lolth convinces a trusted family member, ally, lover to try and kill them. And if they fail, they turn it. If the people being tried, not the dupe or lover, if they get killed, or if they, trying to figure out how to word this, if they do not succeed in killing the friend or lover that's trying to kill them, then they're turned into a Drider and are banished. If their lover kills them and they die, as you do when you're killed, Arachne slurps up their soul like a Capri Sun and rewards the other, makes them forget, or straight up tells everyone he murdered a friend and the drow is put to death, not for the crime of murdering, but because they were discovered. Now this has multiple implications we can work towards for Elder Evil. A group of drow clerics are all disgraced Loth, and she sent this giant spooter to crush them. Or she told a cleric to go slay the beast as a prank for the walls. But either way, the spider is definitely going to be hurting the drow in some way. So the spider's goal should be either to catch some... So, it should be something super powerful. Catch some other Elder Evil, tie up the magic god so that Lolth can become super magical. Or catch the elf god in the mana weave, because it's so strong it kills gods like that. And Lolth would love to kill the elf god. The latter two and kill and go evict the domains of the magic god or elf god. However, if it killed the magic god, it would issue in another spell plague incident, which I don't think Lolth would mind that much. And here's a template complaint. So about level 3, no signs at all. Elven priests are disappearing or being killed. Some female clerics have perished, but mostly men. The party investigates, finds drow poison, Lolth emblem, or other sort of spider creature that gives them a hint. At level 5, party explores nearby tunnels. Don't force them into the tunnels. Go like, oh, there's a kobold and they've stopped trying to steal our gold for some reason. It's like there might be gold there. But nearby tunnels and finds more entrances in the Underdark than were previously known. And this is when lesser signs show up. So the stars and people obviously want to do magical research as soon or a little bit later, realizing their spells are harder to cast with the concentration negative. Levels 7 to 8, moderate signs, the party are kidnapped, they sneak into, or general arrive in an Underdark city, with goals to sneak into a drow settlement. When approaching it, they find it's either taken over by non-Lolth worshipping male drow, or it's disgraced to Lolth in some way, or whatever. But before they can enter it, they see this massive spider approaching and demolishing the city, before returning to its main residence in a mega drow city where it's working diligently on the web trap. It's also a show of power, so no other drows descend. Levels 12, 14, strong signs. Mages all over the world are allying with divine spellcasters to try and use what limited magic they have to protect the elf and clerics being targeted. The Elf King is willing to pay handsomely for information and someone to help cure his poisoned son. Unfortunately, there are no cures, and the prince will die, prompting war. Levels 19 to 20. The party, Overwhelming signs. The party is one of the last high-level groups, are assigned as generals, and spend a lot of time building up to level 20, saving groups of villages from the alliance of man, elves, dwarves, gnomes, etc. ally together to try and stop this before it's too late. Q, massive battle scene, where the massive spider bursts from the ground, making a massive tunnel with the Underdark to the material plane. Lolth summons an avatar to finally reign above ground and do away with the elf god with the magical net. Treat everything that touches the net murdered in some horrific way as the elf god, magic god, comes down and is ensnared. The party must try to defeat Lolth or the spider before the magic god dies and issues the end of the world. Anyways, I hope I gave you all some ideas, some other stuff. I should probably go. I know the spider art probably sucks, but man, it was really fun to do this, and I hope you all enjoy. I shall see you in the next video, probably or more in like 2 days.